and we're going to have a nice practice today. I just want to show you a couple of poses for, take this off, for fear, or we're going to do some fear, that's kidney, but also there's a couple of pressure points that are really great for that. So let's start with that. I don't know if you've been, I come in and out of like fear place, be very aware of your conditioned mind throughout this. Yesterday I had such a wonderful day. And then the conditioned mind was, oh, I can't feel joy right now. I shouldn't be feeling happiness or buoyancy. So that's conditioned. So be careful of that. We're going to go in and out of feeling things like grief and sadness and fear, and then back into feeling joy and happiness, right? So when you do have that, rather than feeling like, oh, I shouldn't feel this way, other people are suffering, to say, I'm feeling the sense of joy, I'm feeling the sense of buoyancy, and may all beings have joy. May all beings have this feeling of buoyancy. Okay? So take one hand over heart, the other hand here, and we'll offer our 3 intentions. The first intention is for yourself. What is it that you need in this moment? And don't overthink it. What do you need right now? The second intention is for someone that you love, and I'm just gonna do my whole family, and specifically my daughter, who is a nurse, is going to work today, this morning, that she may be safe and protected and of service. And the third intention is for our beautiful Mother Earth, for all beings. And then bring your hands to heart center, and we're going to just seal all of our intentions with one sound of Om, a nice, soft, breathy one, right? So inhaling. Om. And then lift your gaze. So the first pose we're going to come into is shoelace pose. And I'm going to back away. I think I can talk you through it, so you don't necessarily have to see me in the pose. I think everybody here knows the poses, but let me just talk you through it. So you're going to have your legs forward. Okay? I'll go back so you can see it, and then I'm going to come back and talk to you, okay? So you're going to come forward, have your legs forward. Oops, take my ugly socks off. And you're going to take your right knee over your left knee. We're coming into shoelace pose. You're going to take your right heel towards the left hip like that. This may be as far as you can go, and that's fine. But it's going to be half shoelace. If you can go to the full shoelace, you're going to lean that way. I'm going to lean this way and take your left foot under the right hip. Okay, full shoelace pose. Again, you should not feel this in either one of your knees. And if it hurts, one of the things you can do if you feel like, oh, this is really too much for me, if you sit up on a folded blanket or folded towel or a block, then you can get deeper into the pose. So I'm going to come forward again in the shoelace pose so that I can talk to you a little bit better, and you can probably hear me better like they're in shoelace pose. So we've done this in class before. So you take your thumbs and you press them right into the arches of the feet, right in the center, the soft arch of the foot. If you press your thumbs right in, kind of move them in like a little circle, you might get a place that feels really tender. If you don't find that, don't worry about it. You're in the right direction. You're right in the right area. So now when you find a place that feels tender, press in and commit to that. And then you can tilt. So think about your pelvic floor being a triangle. You have your 2 sitting bones and you have your pubic bone. So kind of lengthen your spine up, press the pubic bone down, and already my whole right side, buttock and outer, hip is really fired up right now. So I probably don't even have to go any further. So if you're feeling something strong in your target area, which is the right outer hip, you may feel it in the left too. Now I'm feeling it in left as well. Okay, now keep pressing into that. That's the kidney line. And kidney out of balance is fear. So if you're in a fear place and it's a chronic fear, you can actually impact your kidneys. You can begin to deplete your kidney chi. So it's kind of, you know, it goes in a circle. Okay, now release that pressure point and then fold over, but have your fingertips forward like that. So you're lengthened in the pose, you're not necessarily rounded down, okay? So I want to read a little book to you. It's this beautiful little book. It's called I Am Yoga, and you can probably see it right on the screen. And I was reading it this morning. It was a gift from a student, and I was like, oh my God, this is a perfect book to read. I'm going to come a little closer. It's just very simple. It's just very peaceful. It's just a beautiful little book, and I'm just going to read this to you. When I feel small in a world so big, I tell my wiggly body to be still. I tell my thinking mind to be quiet. I lean into sensation. I tell my racing breath to be slow. I close my eyes and make room in my mind, in my heart, to create and imagine. I am yoga. I can touch the sky, I am so tall. I can soar among clouds, I am so free. I can sparkle with the stars, I shimmer and shine. I can dance with the moon, I light up the night. I can sail on the sea, I go with the flow. I can open my heart, I feel love. Okay, you're gonna slowly come up. I'll read the rest of this book as we go to the other side. Come up, take your hands behind you and unravel. Okay. Unravel, and then windshield wiper your knees back and forth like that. And we're gonna take feet together, and we're not gonna go to the other side quite yet. We're gonna come into butterfly pose. So feet together, and then lengthen your spine forward. See if you can see me a little bit better. Okay, back here. Okay, so you're in your butterfly pose, right? Nice diamond shape. Everyone here knows butterfly pose. And then lengthen your spine here. Walk your fingertips forward, and then press pubic bone downward. And then see if you can find, like, let that sensation, the outer hips, inner groins really fire up here. I can see far and wide. I am focused. I can turn things upside down. I am playful. I can stand up for me. I can stand up for others. I can stand up for peace. I can open like a flower. I am beautiful. I can carry beauty with me. I am full. I can say, I've had enough for today. I relax. I can rest. I am calm. Now the world is just the right speed. Now my world is just the right size. Now I see I fit in just fine. I am yoga. I can be anything. And that's that beautiful little precious book. Take about one more minute here. Stay with your breath. About a half a minute left. One of the things I'm really appreciating is that, and all of you are, I think, can resonate, is that we've been doing these practices for quite a long time, and now they're here as our tools to serve us to be able to navigate through this next time in our life. And this too shall pass. So, and just doing the best you can, stay with your practice. Even if you sit on the mat and just watch a class, I've done that a couple times, just sitting on the mat watching a class. Slowly come on up. And then we're going to go shoelace to the other side. You got your left knee over the right. The left heel comes over to the right hip. And then you're gonna lean that way, I'll lean this way. Right heel comes under, and you're in shoelace on the other side. Okay? And then once you find it, it can be either one leg or two legs. Okay, so it doesn't matter, one's not better than the other. That's just the way it is, right? So the next pressure point, before you get to the next pressure point for fear, are the acupressure point. I want you to feel your two sitting bones pressing down, and then press the pubic bone down as well. And you probably will already feel like, wow, and I do, on my left buttock, left outer hip, also a little bit on the right hip, so tilting forward. Now right here on your throat, there's a little U right here, right? So bring your fingers, the two bones, and then this is probably not the best shirt to wear. You come over like that. Can you see the bones? And then down, out, and right in there. And I'll go right over my shirt. So right in here is another kidney pressure point, and it's very tender on me. And just notice how it feels. And you kind of going in a circle. You're in the right direction. So go the U of the two collarbones down and then out to the side a little bit, right in here. Okay. And then find a place that feels, and you can kind of move around a little bit. I'm going to use 2 fingers because I could use a little extra. Okay, and press in. And that's another kidney line, another kidney point to help bring balance to the kidney chi. And when you bring balance to kidney chi, you may notice there's less fear. Like fear is with depleted kidney, you may have the emotion of fear. Lots to be fearful about, right? So it's okay, you know, but also, you know, maybe alleviating some of that anxiety about it, the fear about what's going on right now. Okay, and then releasing, and then sort of tilting forward, coming down, your fullest expression of your shoelace pose, whatever that looks like for you. And then commit to the pose. So I think that, you know, all these silent retreats I've done, these week-long silent retreats, just for me, I felt like it sort of prepared me to have that isolation, and, you know, spending a whole day not really talking and staying with practice. So I'm feeling like I'm navigating, you know, pretty well. But then another morning I woke up and I thought, what is this I'm feeling? And I was watching the sun rising and from my window, and I just tears pouring out, and I thought, I sat with it. Oh, this is called, actually it's called grief. And once I named it, then I created space around it. I just said, okay, that's all right. How often do we try to push away a feeling or an emotion that we don't necessarily want to have and try to create something that we'd rather have? It doesn't really work that way, because if you try to push it away or stuff it down, it's going to take residence in your body anyway. So you might as well create the space around it. Breathe, allow it to be just as it is. And the practice for me is I'm feeling like labeling. I am feeling this emotion called grief. The emotion called grief, everyone feels at some time or other. So I'm feeling something that everyone has experienced, not just me. Or maybe everyone is experiencing, not just me. So it puts us in communion with everyone else. Feel this emotion called grief. We've all felt it. We know what it feels like. It doesn't feel good. And so we have that sense of being in community with everyone else. We're all feeling these same feelings. We're not alone. We're not meant to be alone on this individual path. We're meant to be in with other people in communion. So about another minute, I'm going to read a quote by Gala. When after heavy rain, the storm clouds disperse, it is not that they've wept themselves clear to the end. Grief is one of the heart's natural responses to loss. When we grieve, we allow ourselves to feel the truth of our pain, the measure of betrayal or tragedy in our life. By our willingness to mourn, we slowly acknowledge, integrate, and accept the truth of our losses. Sometimes the best way to let go is to grieve. In the Buddhist tradition, suffering, the most suffering is created by wanting things to be other than what they are. So what are things right now? The suffering is created when we want it to be other than that. Okay, you're going to slowly work your way up. One vertebrae at a time. Take your hands behind you. Unravel. Bring your feet more than hip distance and windshield wiper your knees back and forth. And then take your legs away from each other in dragonfly pose. Okay, so you've got a big, so come back here so you can see dragonfly. Okay, dragonfly pose. And I like to have a block. If you don't have a block, don't worry about it. This is how I like to be in dragonfly, just, like that, just like that. Maybe you don't need that. Maybe you fold right over. Maybe you've got a couple pillows you can use, or maybe you just use your arms like that. And you soften your legs. You shake them out so that you're not using muscle. You're not flexing feet or anything like that. And then again, notice that sense of rounding at the lower back. Lift up and lengthen the spine. Press down with your pubic bone. Let your sitting bones, move away from each other. Okay, so I'm going to do a little pranayama here in this pose, if you choose to. So I want you to visualize inhaling through the crown of your head all the way down to the pelvic floor. And then as you exhale, lightly engage your pelvic floor and let that breath be like a springboard off the pelvic floor, moving up and out of your heart center. Sometimes it's helpful to picture and imagine the breath a certain color. Okay, so I'm going to come closer so I can see you and talk to you. So visualizing the first, I just got a turquoise, like the color of my shirt, I guess, a turquoisey blue color. Inhaling through the crown of your head, like you're taking the chi from the heavens through the crown of the head. Inhale the whole way down. And then when it gets to the pelvic floor, you springboard by pulling up on your pelvic floor. You springboard the breath up and let it pour rapidly out of your heart center. Inhale through the crown of the head, all the way down to the pelvic floor. Exhale, pull up on pelvic floor, let it come up and pour out of your heart center. Try and take like 5 visual breaths like that. Takes a little concentration. As you exhale, you're pulling up on the pelvic floor. As you inhale, you're softening your pelvic floor. Exhale, pulling up pelvic floor. Inhale, softening pelvic floor. And that happens very naturally when you're breathing deep into your body. there is a very slight lifting and softening of pelvic floor. It's so subtle, but we're going to engage and really make it bigger. Now, if you find that you're able to round down, go ahead and do that. I feel like enough here just being lengthened here like that. Okay, now walk yourself up like that. Take your hands under your knees and then bend your knees like that. Wrap your arms around your knees. Inhale, open up the heart and throat. And exhale, rounding. And inhale. And exhale. And come right onto your back. I'm going to talk you through these poses, so come onto your back. You don't have to see me, you can just listen to my voice, right? Because you know these poses. Your knees are bent. Okay. Now take your right knee towards your chest, wrap your arms around your right knee, and then slowly extend the left leg all the way down the mat. With your hands on your right knee, make some circles. So you're rotating the thigh bone into the hip socket. And just be curious, do it nice and slow and mindfully. And as the knee goes to the right underarm, you can stay there or you can segue into half a happy baby. So the knee goes to the underarm and then you can hold the big toe, reach the foot up or the arch of the foot, or wrap your right arm behind the right thigh and draw it towards you. Into half a happy baby. So this gets pretty intense pretty quickly. Stay with it. It's okay to feel intense sensations. So all yoga, you know, we talk about this all the time, all yoga is going to help to bring balance to chi. But the yin can be really, really specific, and the yin can be a great tool to help you navigate through this next phase of our lives. Maybe even closing your eyes once you have this pose. Enjoying the quiet, committing to this practice. And then throughout the day, if you find that there is a sense of overwhelm, come to your mat. Leave your mat out. See if you can find a place in your home where you can just create a little mini sacred space. Bring a few things in there, maybe a picture or something sacred. Okay, so now you're gonna take your right knee towards your chest. Take your left hand on that right knee and draw your knee all the way across your body into a twist. Keep the right shoulder blade down. The right arm goes out to the side, or the right arm reaches back behind you. So now we're really getting into that lung line. That's a place of grief. Twisting poses will get into the kidney, the place of fear, but it also gets into stomach and spleen. That's that over obsessive thinking. The other day I went and got some groceries for my youngest granddaughter and her other grandmother, who are isolated together. And I got to see her through the door. You know, the door's open and I'm on the yard, and her beautiful little face smiling. And oh my gosh, and I know all of you have been probably experienced the same thing. And I in one point I felt so, I just want to go hug her and be with her. And the other part was like, wow, isn't it so wonderful to have this great capacity for love, to feel these feelings, and to have these people in my life. I feel blessed. Take another minute and a half or so on this side. I'll continue to read a little bit. It takes courage to grieve, to honor the pain that we carry. We can grieve in tears or in meditative silence, in prayer or in song. In touching the pain of recent and long-held griefs, we come face to face with our genuine human vulnerability, with helplessness and hopelessness. These are the storm clouds of the heart. Most traditional societies offer ritual and communal support to help people move through grief and loss. We need to respect our tears. Without a wise way to grieve, we can only soldier on, armored and unfeeling. But our hearts cannot learn and grow from the sorrow of the past. To meditate on grief, let yourself just be in your pose like you're doing right now. Create an atmosphere of support. When you feel ready, begin to sense your breath. Feel the breath in the area of your chest. This can help you become present to what is within you. And take one hand and hold it gently on your heart, as if you were holding a vulnerable human being. You are. Okay, you're going to just bring your knee back up. Take your bent knee, take your foot on the mat, take your left knee towards your chest. And then once you're ready to take left knee to chest, you extend the right leg all the way down the mat when you're ready. And you're going to move your left knee in circles, feeling that thigh bone in the hip socket rotating around, smoothing out lubricated hip. And then let that left knee go towards the left underarm into half a happy baby on that side. And as you continue to breathe, maybe take the other free hand and put it on your heart. And bring to mind the loss or the pain that you may be grieving in this moment. And let the story, the images, the feelings come naturally. And hold them gently. Feelings can come layer by layer, a little at a time. Keep breathing softly, compassionately. Let whatever feelings are there, pain and tears, anger and love, fear and sorrow, let them come as they will and touch them gently. Let them unravel out of your body and mind. Allow the whole story. And breathe and create space and holds it all with tenderness and compassion. kindness for it all, for you and for others. The grief we carry is part of the grief of the world. Hold it gently. Let it be honored. You do not have to keep it anymore. You can let go into the heart of compassion. And then bring your left knee towards your chest. Take your right hand on that knee. Draw it across your body. The left arm goes straight up. The left shoulder blade stays down or downward as much as you can. Staying with the natural intelligence of the body and the heart. In Chinese medicine, emotions are movements of the energy. Rather than suppressing, allow them to have space. And trust the unfolding. Some of your grief might want to be written down or cried out or sung or danced to. Let the timeless wisdom within you carry you through grief to an open heart. A few more breaths here. And then you're going to draw your knee back up. And then you're going to come, roll a little bit from side to side, wrap your arms around your knees, roll from side to side. And coming to your full happy baby pose. However that looks for you. If it's too much, just keep your knees towards your chest. You can roll from side to side if you want. And so as we're practicing together, we're creating this merit. Even though we're not together, that's okay. We're still in the same practice. We're creating and building up this merit, and we can offer the merit, towards ourselves, towards others, towards our world. So we set our intentions for our practice. And one of the beautiful things about intention is that it just creates a more powerful practice. We're practicing not just physically, we're practicing for the benefit of ourselves, for the benefit of those we love, for the benefit of our beautiful Mother Earth. So I thought when all of this started, I would get all these things done. I thought, oh, I'm going to clean my room and clean the closets. I'm going to do all that. I'm going to be really productive. And I haven't done any of it. And at first I had that sense of like, I can't believe I haven't done anything. And then I just stayed with like, that's okay. It's all right. So I did my practice yesterday. I did my meditation yesterday. I've been filming every day a little 3-minute little clip on Facebook of some little teaching that I'm finding like really, really meaningful for me. I think about what am I going to do today? And it gets me some I don't know, some energy, like I can just give something back. And then after doing those practices, then I watched Orzak, is that what it's called? For 7 hours. So I binged, and I realized I binged for 7 hours yesterday. Kind of think I needed that. Looking out the window, watching the rain, binge watching a kind of a violent show. But anyway, it worked for me. Read 2 novels already. And I've been trying to FaceTime with my grandkids. I have a daughter in recovery, and of course is that concern, like, is she going to be okay without all of her meetings and her supports? And so I had to let that one go as well. Like, it's all good. This is gonna pass. Okay, so release, bring knees back to chest, and roll again from side to side. The next part of our practice is going to be back bending. There's 2 ways that we can do this. You can come into your Sphinx and your seal pose, or I like this better, but that's just me. You want stronger, come to Sphinx. Otherwise, you take your rolled towel or your rolled blanket, so it looks like this. This is thick, so this is a big roll, okay? And then you're going to take it and you're going to put it under your heart center. So I'll go back to the mat and show you. Okay? And this is, it's going to look like this. You're going to take your arms and cactus arms, or straight out to the sides. Your rolled blanket is going to go right behind your bra strap, your heart center. Let's see if you can. And, or you're going to come, if you choose Sphinx, we're going to be here for a while. That's okay. You can also, if you find that you're in Sphinx and you want to, change your mind, or you think it's too much, then by all means, come over that rolled blanket instead. It's both back bends. One is more passive, one is more active, but it's the same. It's getting into the same area, going right back in kidneys. When we're balanced in our kidney meridian, so when we're out of balance, we have a sense of fear plays, but also like, I can't get things done. I have these ideas, these creative projects, I can't follow through. But the flip side, the balance, is like an energized, joyous, very buoyant feeling of like emotions of like just wanting to just expand and be all just opened up. And I experienced that yesterday, so I know that my practice is working. Okay, so just surrendering and being okay with just surrendering here. Watch out for anything that might feel like it's sharp or electrical. If that's the case, come out, or the rolled blanket's too thick. One of the phrases of equanimity that's been helping me, it's one of my Buddhist teachers gave me this phrase of equanimity, and I was using it all the time with my daughter, who's she's in recovery, and but it's also just very good. I'm also using it now with our life, our current life situations that we're all dealing with, and it's very simple, but it's really powerful. At least it is for me. And it goes like this. May I rest in not knowing. May I rest in calm. May I rest in not knowing. May I rest in calm. one more minute. What we're gonna do is we're gonna work that rolled blanket down the spine, not right at this point. So one more minute. Yoga class, honey. We've done it 9. This is also a great opportunity for family members to jump in for a pose or two, right? So like they might like all of a sudden this when this goes by and our life goes back to I don't know, a different normal, right? Maybe they'll continue with their own practice. Okay, so now what you're gonna do is if you're in your Sphinx, you can come on out for a bit. You can breathe, come out, and then windshield wipe your knees back and forth. If you've got the rolled blanket underneath you, you're gonna bend your knees and you're gonna lift your hips up. You're gonna move the rolled blanket only about an inch lower, right? So now it's behind the rolled blanket's not behind your heart center, it's like behind the back ribs. It's not at the thinnest part of your waistline yet. It's a little higher than that. So it's a little bit of a different sensation. It might feel more intense there. It might feel easier there. And then if you're in your Sphinx, right, you can hang out with your one palm over the other and your forehead resting, or you can come back into Sphinx or Seal. So come up and down from Sphinx or Seal as many times as you need to. But rolled blanket, again, surrender. Let your spine wrap its way around that rolled blanket. I have now and then we'll have a student who's brand new to the practice, and when they come to me and say, "Oh my gosh, I loved this practice. What can I do every day?" This is the practice that I show them with the rolled blanket. This will absolutely enhance the health of your spine. And I mean, think about if it's strong sensation you're feeling in your spine. It could be the spine, not necessarily the rolled blanket. So you will find eventually it won't be as tender or intense anymore, that you'll be able to have the rolled blanket going all the way down your spine with ease. So another minute here. So I had a student a bunch of years back who's very, very tall, and so tall she grew all her height like in 7th grade. So she was taller than like all of the students pretty much, and probably as tall or taller than some of her teachers. So her posturing was kind of shoulders coming forward, and she was kind of posturing, you could tell, trying to make herself smaller all those years. So I had her doing this every day, and the transformation was remarkable. She came in and all of a sudden she looked so different. She was standing really tall, but her face and her complexion looked different. Her shoulders were back. Her spine lengthened. Okay, so the last little part of this, you're gonna bend your knees, you're gonna lift up your hips and move the rolled blanket to the thinnest part of your waistline. So that might be the biggest. If you're in Sphinx, come on out. Again, windshield wiper your feet again. And now that you're in the thinnest part of your waistline, you can bend your knees if you want, and you can bring your knees out to the sides with the bottoms of your feet touching if you want to do that. So the bottoms of feet touch, your knees come back up like a butterfly, or you can keep your legs straight down the mat. Either one is fine. Okay, knees together. And then you're going to lift your hips. And so for those who are in Sphinx, you want to come onto your back now and put something under your hips. So now push the blanket all the way underneath your hips and bring your knees to your chest. And notice when you do that, you might have a sense of flushing of like heat coming all the way up the spine. Or you might feel a sense of like, oh my God, it feels so much better to be out of this back bend. There might be a sense of vibration that goes right up the spine. Notice. And then we're going to come into legs up the wall pose. So you're home. You can actually bring your legs right up to a wall if you want. You can bring your legs up to the edge of a sofa. Or you can just have the rolled blanket under your hips and float your legs up towards the ceiling. It's all fine. When you have something underneath your hips, then you're able to float the legs, towards the back wall so that you can get the backs of your hamstrings, if you know what I mean. But feel free to find a wall if you want, or you can even have your legs up over the sofa. And then hold your opposite elbow overhead. So bring your arms overhead, hold the opposite elbow. And if you're sitting on the edge of the sofa and you're watching, you could take your arms up over towards the ceiling and open up your heart in your underarms. And that may feel really good. And then you could, if you wanted to, you could point and flex your feet. You could make your ankles go in circles. That just helps to really enhance the movement of the chi. You're going to stay. And then once, you can bring your feet to stillness, just hanging out here. Take another minute, like a minute and a half, 2 minutes with your legs up the wall. And give yourself permission just to be. Try not to use this time as an opportunity to be thinking about what you need to do for the day, or stay in your body. What does it feel like in your body? Does it feel pleasant being inverted like this? Does it feel challenging? Stay in your body. And if you find it's hard to stay in your body and you have a hard time getting out of your head, bring your attention to the awareness of the movement of your body as you breathe. As an example, as you're inhaling, maybe your belly feels like it's stretching. And as you exhale, your belly so softens. And you don't have to say that out loud. Just notice, just sensation of breathing, the sensation of movement of body, and segue from the thinking mind into the body. If you're in your body, you're in the present moment. And that's where we want to be as much as possible, in the present moment. Not in the past, not in the future, just right here and right now. I can't think of anything or any place that I'd rather be right now than with all of you. This is the moment that we're living right now, fully present. Okay, now releasing your arms back down, bend one knee, bend the other. Remove your blanket or rolled towel, whatever you have. You get one more pose and we'll come into Shavasana. Okay, so extend your arms and legs. Give yourself space for your arms up overhead. You're going to reach your arms back as far as you can. And you're going to walk your arms and shoulders to the right. And you're going to walk your straight legs to the right as well. So you're going to look like a half moon pose or a letter C. So arms go to the right, legs go to the right. Your whole left side is opening up. I'd like to offer now healing and just all of our love towards Kelly and Shannon. Their mom passed last night. And I wanted to share that. So we're going to send merit of our practice to sending love to Kelly and to Shannon and their whole family. So they can find some peace and some comfort. And go to the other side. So slowly reach your arms all the way to the left, your legs over to the left. Open up the whole right side of the body. And you're going to slowly work your way out, and don't miss this step. Don't miss this last pose if you can help it. Stay in Shavasana. You're going to get yourself as comfortable and as warm as you can. I notice sometimes if I don't give myself a few minutes of Shavasana, I can get a little irritable. So really prepare, just get yourself warm, get yourself comfortable. I'm going to bring you out of Shavasana chanting the Om Mane Padme Hum, the mantra, the lotus of the heart. And so settling down, feeling the sensation of your body on your mat. Have a sense or visualizing Mother Earth wrapping her arms around you, embracing you. Closing your eyes if that's comfortable for you. If you find that you're very depressed today, keep your eyes open. Let your body have this time of Shavasana to surrender, to release, to let go. Om Mane Padme Hum. 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 I'm watching Susan's dog. Joining her in Shavasana. So deepen your breath a little bit. Bring some movement to your body, your fingertips and toes. If you're loving Shavasana, stay. You can stay for another 15, 20 minutes, however long you want. But otherwise, find yourself in a comfortable seated pose. Take your time getting there, no rushing. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank you for sharing practice with me this morning. May all of you have peace in your heart. May you navigate through this time in your life with ease and equanimity. Namaste.